What up, UFC T-Dot Breakdowns, here for UFC 273. Uh, what a crazy card. That card, for the most part, lived up to how stacked it was. By the time the main event came around, I'm like, well, this can't be good. It was still good. Um, right at the top, you already know what this is, right? Like, subscribe, tell a friend, all that good shit. I'm gonna break it down. I'm gonna start the early prelims, work all the way to the main event. I watch every single fight. I'm just sharing the insight I glean from that with y'all. Right off the top, we had two canceled fights. Pat Sabatini versus Gavin Tucker got canceled, and then Albert Durev versus Anthony Hernandez got canceled. Hernandez ended up fighting later on. He got a short notice fight, but just FYI, those fights got canceled. So up first, we had Daniel Santos versus Julio Arce. Arce came in overweight, 136.5 pounds in the 135 weight class. Daniel Santos is good. He's young. He's very inexperienced. He is like a truck. How many young ones today? So let's start this video. Julio Arce he's really skilled. He's like Rob Font, part 2. That's how he reminds me of. Like, he's good. He's Santos hits very hard. He was throwing some really tricky elbows, but Arce was just all around, just a little bit better, just everywhere. And when you're better everywhere, other than power maybe, when you're better everywhere than your opponent, you're probably going to beat that opponent, even if it's minusculely better. I had him winning all 3 rounds. He won by unanimous decision. Next up, we had Piora Rodriguez versus Kay Hanses. Piora Rodriguez is like really highly touted. They were talking so much about her in her past and her lead up to this. To be quite honest, it was a pretty close fight. Piora won the decision. I had her winning 2 out of the 3 rounds, so I guess that's normal. I mean, these early prelim fights are kind of like, what they are more than anything else is they're just an opportunity to see either brand new fighters before they get going, or like old good fighters at the end, right? Excuse me. And the perfect example of that is like the next fight you have is Aleksei Oleinik versus Jared Vanderaa. This was so crazy about this fight. Aleksei Oleinik is going to submit you, so just don't let him submit you, and you're gonna win. So, anyways, in the first round, he got a scarf hold submission. It's not even a submission. He just had him in a judo position and just put so much pressure that the other dude couldn't take it. This dude, this is his 60th career win, Aleksei Oleinik, and his 47th submission. All right, on to the prelims. Yeah, I don't even know, man. Like, my whole setup is so much more organized. I'm not even using my notepad no more. Yeah, like a big boy. All right, freaking Volkanovski versus Korean Zombie. You know, I like the Korean Zombie. He's definitely a upper echelon fighter in that weight class. He's done some amazing things in his career, and I'm not trying to take anything away from him. But to be quite frank, I don't know how he got this match. I think there's got to be like 5 or 6 people in front of him. As far not in front of him as far as like ranking or anything like that. I mean, Korean Zombie earned his spot. I'm just saying, like, a lot of people think Max Holloway won both of those fights. Who knows how good T City will be the next time we see him in the ring? You know what I mean? Like, I just feel like I don't understand why Korean Zombie isn't. I don't think Korean Zombie beats T City. I don't think Korean Zombie beats Max Holloway, right? I don't think he beats Aldo. I think I don't even think Aldo's in their weight class anymore. My point is, it seemed like they just gave the champ a tune-up fight. And if you're the champ, why you need a tune-up fight? But what do I know, right? I mean, I just yeah, it's not even that. It's not even that. Like I feel like the Korean Zombie isn't worthy of that opportunity. I just don't think he has an opportunity. I just don't think he has a chance of winning, right? I don't think anyone thought he had a chance of winning, other than him and his camp. And I don't even like. I'm not even trying to be disrespectful. Like I root for the Korean Zombie. I root for all the Korean fighters. I lived in Korea for a long time. My son's part Korean. I always root for Korean fighters. Like I just don't see how the Korean Zombie gets in there with Alexander Volkanovski for the title. Like, period. Like, not even like, can he win? Can he not win? I just don't see how at this point he is the number one contender for the belt. I don't know. Maybe I missed something, but I just didn't see him becoming better than Max or T City. And I get it. No one wants to see them same fights again because they already fight. Well, a lot of people think Max won both those fights. Me personally, I definitely think he won the second fight. First one, I don't know. That was very close. I mean, they both were very close. They were freaking highly competitive, amazing fights. Anyways, back on with the show. On to the these yawns, right? On to the prelim cards. How did I do this backwards like this? All right. Marcin Tybura was supposed to fight Jairzinho Rosenstrike on this prelim card. That fight got canceled. That would have been a good fight. Somebody would have went to sleep. First up, we had Mickey Gall versus Mike Malott. It was Mike Malott's UFC debut. It was really dope, touching moment at the end of the fight. So he caught Mickey Gall in the first round with a left hook. Fuck me. Oh, I can't stop yawning. Uh, he knocked out Mike Malott with a KO with a left hook. What's crazy is Mickey Gall looked really good until the knockout. Like he looked really good. Like, oh, I'm always rooting for Mickey. I want Mickey to do good, but he just, you know. Also, Mike Malott is donating 10K, his fight card 10K, to his friend. For his daughter's fighting cancer, of course. Dana in the post-fight interview said he can keep his money. The UFC's gonna double it and pay it for him. Next up, you had Aspen Ladd versus Raquel Pennington. This is a good fight. It's like two really gritty, tough, banger female fighters, you know. And that's what they did. They got in there and scrapped. Round one, I had Raquel winning. I think she just had the sharper, crisper, straighter punches. You know what I mean? But they were in there banging. Also, Raquel is a bit more of a boxer, whereas Aspen is a little bit more of a brawler. So that's kind of what gave Raquel a little bit of an advantage there. In the post-fight interview, I had Raquel winning all 3 rounds. She won by unanimous decision. It's funny as hell. One more yawn. It's funny as in the post-fight interview, Raquel said she think he broke her left hand early in that fight, so she basically put on that clinic one-handed. But she said she kept throwing it after it was broken, so I'm not sure exactly when she broke it. So then next up, we had that short notice I was talking about by Anthony Hernandez. She got Josh Fremd versus Anthony Hernandez. It was Anthony Hernandez's first round was like just 1,000 submission attempts. It was just grappling, submission attempt, grappling, submission attempt. There was a lot of rolls. It was a lot of, not necessarily rolls, it was a lot of back and forth with the grappling exchanges in this one. Second round, same deal. Grappling. Fuck. But yeah, Anthony Hernandez, after the fight, he basically said, you know, like, I felt like I could have beat him on the feet, but I knew I had the advantage on the ground, so I just went out there and did what I had to do. Next up, we had Ian Gary versus Darian Weeks. This is a matchup between two really young, really good guys. This Darian Weeks dude looked like he's my blood relative. I don't know him personally, but I'm just trying to figure out which side of the family he's connected to. Ian Gary, they're calling him like the next McGregor. For some reason, during his interview, he didn't get interviewed by Joe Rogan. He got interviewed by Anik, which was weird to me because Joe Rogan interviewed everyone else. But anyways, maybe it's the accent. And Gary is like Irish, and he's got like the "I'm the next champion." I don't have a lot of comments about this fight. It was like they're very equally yoked. Just Ian was a little bit better, kind of everywhere. It was a decision, so it doesn't matter how the fight went. It was a decision. That means people who weren't in the fight decided how the fight went. But yeah, Ian Gary gets the win. I think he's still undefeated, 9-0. Yeah. But yeah, that's it for the prelims. On to the main card. And then on this fight, Kevin Gastelum actually had 2 fights scheduled to be on this card. Both fights were ended up getting canceled. He was supposed to be against Nasruddin Imaramov. That's a name. And they're all names. And Dricus du Plessis. I think this is that Dricus du Plessis, like the kickboxer guy. Who he won like 1 million kickboxing matches before he joined the UFC, I believe. And he like looks like a nice guy, and he talks like a nice guy, and he's got an accent and everything. So you think, oh, this guy's nice, but then you see him in the ring, you're like, this guy's not nice. He's really mean. Yeah, this is that dude. Yeah, this is that dude. He's vicious in the ring, this guy. Sucks for Gastelum. I don't know what happened to him, but he literally had 2 different matches scheduled on this card, and both were canceled. I would have liked to have seen Kevin get in there. That guy's a banger. He can really go. So he's a good fighter, Kevin Gastelum. All right, anyways, on with the show. So on the main card here, we had of course, the 2 Gastelum fights got canceled. So starting us off, we have Vince Michelle versus Mark O'Madsen. Vince Michelle is pulled directly from the 1800s. So I used to go to this school called Colton High School. School is old. It's 100-something years old. Well, there's pictures in the office, right, from like the 1800s. But it's all sports teams, right? So you got like the basketball team, and it's like 10 guys with tank tops and shorts on that are black and white stripes, and all they hair is like this, and all they mustaches is like this, right? And then it's like the tennis team, and they got on t-shirts with collars and shorts, black and white stripes, and they all got hair like this, and they all got mustaches like this. And then you see, like, here's the baseball team, and they have on short sleeve shirts with v-necks, long pants, black and white stripes. Everybody hair like this. Everybody mustache like this. And then you see the water polo team. And they all wearing tank top onesies. Black and white stripes. Hair like this. Mustaches like this. Every single team. It's like 19 pictures. Every player look like the same dude. None of them in the same. I don't know if they're the same dudes. It's 1800. They probably are the same dudes. All I know is every dude on the team got hair like this and a mustache like this. It was a high school picture from the pictures from the sports teams from the 1800s, something like early 1900s. I don't know. All I know is them pictures are older than my grandma. All right. Anyways, Vince Michelle. He looks like he's from the 1800s. Like, he don't have this mustache, but he just big thick mustache. He just looks like Daniel Day-Lewis in whatever he's the scariest in. There Will Be Blood. Yeah, and Mark O'Madsen is like GSP 2. That's what he reminds me of. He's like, Olympic gold medalist, I am the best. And what's funny is when Joe Rogan interviewed him, he just refused to even mention his opponent. And it was a good fight. It's a back and forth event. I felt Madsen won the first round. I think Vince got the second one. He took him down for the first time in his career. Marco Madsen is this two-time gold medalist wrestler. He's only been taken down once in his career, and it was during that match in the second round. But he came back, recovered, won that third round decidedly. I feel won the fight by decision. Next up, we had Tisha Torres versus Mackenzie Dern. This is kind of a high-profile fight in the strawweight division because, I mean, Tisha Torres has been a perennial contender for I don't know how long, and Mackenzie Dern is a pretty big up-and-comer as far as notoriety goes. She's got some lineage there. I really like Tisha Torres. I just like her. She's so tenacious. She's like she's on you, and then she has like a little bit of a taekwondo style, so she throws kicks you not expecting her to throw. And she's just. I like Tisha Torres. I enjoy watching her fight. I wish she was bigger. I think she'd be I think she might be champ if she was just like 10 pounds bigger and like 3 inches taller. But whatever. Maybe not even 10 pounds bigger, just 3 inches taller. But I love me some Tisha Torres. Anyways, so this fight was a banger because Mackenzie Dern is a grappler, but I don't know why she liked to get in there and bang. And it'd be like the third round by the time she'd be like, I'm a grappler. Being facetious. Anyways, first round I had Tisha winning that round. Wild exchanges. Second round, man. Okay. I think Dern won this round, but like the way that this sub attempt started, so Dern just like jumped on her and just like just monkeyed on her. Just nope, I got you now. Just the way that she pulled guard, but like she didn't pull her into her guard. She just like jumped onto her, like fastened onto her, like chunk chunk. Guards pulled. And then third round, same deal, like the banging again, wild exchanges. Tisha Torres threw this wheel kick, and then like Mackenzie, it landed. Then Mackenzie grabbed her, like took her down, and then Tisha had this big old up kick to knock her off. Like they had some crazy exchanges. It was a really good fight. I thought Tisha won that third round, but the judges gave it to Mackenzie unanimous decision, 29-28. So clearly they thought that Mackenzie won the second and the third round because the first round was Tisha's round in my opinion. The third one was closer, but I felt like Tisha won. A bunch of wild exchange. Every time they exchanged, it was wild. In a good way though, like not just like sloppy wild, but wild, just like they both were trying to hurt each other. It was good. It was a good fight. I really enjoyed that fight a lot, and I really like Mackenzie Dern and Tisha Torres both. So for me, that's a win-win for me. That fight, this whole card is kind of win-wins for me like that, because the same way for like every other fight on this card, like Cosmo versus Burns, I'm like what? Like PDN Aljamain, I'm like what? And even though I've talked that mess up top about the Korean Zombie, how I feel like there's other people more deserving than him. It's not that I don't think he's deserving. It's not that I don't like him. I don't think he's a great fighter. It's just that I think that there are at least 2 or 3 other fighters in this division that are more deserving of that title shot than him. But that's just my opinion, right? And here's the deal. Regardless of how I feel about it, this man earned that shot, and he deserves the respect and the recognition for it. First twister in UFC history, Korean Zombie. Don't think I don't like the guy just because I'm being brutally honest about him. You know what I'm saying? I don't have that fake in me. I try not to, at least. Anyways, so next up we got Khamzat Chimaev versus Gilbert Burns. The fight you've all been waiting for. This could have been a 5-rounder easy. This could have been the main event easy. This might have been the best fight of the night. Alright, I mean, to put it in perspective, when I look at my notes for round 1, like, I have a few things mentioned. I have fight of the night, question mark, close round. The second round notes, the very first thing says fight of the night. The third round notes, the very first thing says fight of the night. You think it was the fight of the night? In my notes, in between every round, I put fight of the night because that's how good this fight was. To be quite frank with you though, people are like, oh, Khamzat has holes. Khamzat's not as good as we thought. I don't think that's what happened here. I think Khamzat just did what Izzy did with Gaslam. Like, I think he realized I can take his punches and he can take my punches. So instead of trying to just chess him, I'm going to war him and make the people happy. I really think that's what happened. Don't misunderstand me. I think one of two things happened. I think number one, Gilbert can take a punch better than he thought. I think Gilbert can throw a punch better than he thought. And I think Gilbert is better at wrestling and grappling defense than Kazmat thought. And I think that's what... So I think he wasn't as easy as he thought he would be. And that's what caused Kazmat to be like, well, then let's go to war. Because that's what it seemed like happened to me. He wasn't even trying to do anything else. There were a few times Gilbert was on the ground and he just let him back up. He wrestled him down and did his Kazmat thing in the first round for a few seconds, but I don't know. I don't know what happened there, but what I do know is that it was the first time Kazmat has even been hit twice in a fight. It was the first time he went past the first round. It was the first time that he even looked like he wasn't invincible in the ring. And with that being said, I feel like he won most of that fight. I did get the second round of Gilbert, but I mean, it was like early on, Gilbert came on really strong. At the end of the round, I feel like Kazmat could have stole it, but I gave the round to Gilbert. In the first round, Kazmat knocked down Gilbert with a jab. It's a stiff jab too, but he was like switching stances so much that like Gilbert, and he, to be honest with you, he's throwing that jab the way most people throw it straight, and it's probably because he switched stances so much, stance so much. But yeah, second round again, I gave it to Gilbert. So it was a weird sequence of events at the end of that round. Like Gilbert tried to baseball kick Kazmat in the face while he was down, missed. And then Kazmat got him down and was grappling with him, and he like, after the round was over, he kind of pawed at him. And it's like, some people were complaining because it was like, there was no kick. All right, the intent for the baseball kick was there, though. And then they're like, well, oh, bad sportsmanship trying to hit Burns after the fight. That hit he gave him wasn't a hit, all right? He was like, it could have been a high five attempt that Gilbert didn't respond to, so he just slapped him. He could have tried to been grabbing Gilbert's hand the way it's... Because, like, you look at it, it wasn't a hit. First of all, Kazmat threw a lot of punches during that fight. You know how many look like this? One. That he was throwing straight punches almost the entire fight. And that weird uppercut, he got, like, this upper hook. I mean, I don't mean weird the bad way. I mean weird, like... I never seen one thrown like that, and it landed a lot. Like, he caught Gilbert coming in with that weird upper hook a couple times. And then what's crazy is at the end of round 3, Kazmat comes in, he like slaps Gilbert real hard, headbutts him, and then kisses him on the forehead. It's just Gilbert's bloody and battered feet was like, what's good? Okay. Oh, okay. No, not okay. Don't headbutt me at the end of our friendly competition. Were you happy? So Kazmat wins unanimous decision. Dana White. Kazmat wins unanimous decision. To be quite frank with you, Gilbert had to get a finish to win that fight. Gilbert had to get a win by finish to win that fight. There's too much hype behind Kazmat. You can't have him losing to Burns, who already lost to Usman, trying to set up a Kazmat-Usman fight. I think Kazmat won, but anyone who would feel like Gilbert won, I wouldn't really argue with him. Third round was very tight. Second round was very tight. I feel like the first round was Kazmat. I feel like the third round was Kazmat. Second round I gave it to Burns, but it was close too. All 3 rounds were close. It was the fight of the night. It was a banger. Might have been fight of the year. It's a good fight. It's a really good fight. I'm having trouble recalling a better fight right at the moment, but I'm sure if I look at the UFC cards, I probably could bring up a few. All right. Next up, we had the rematch of Peter Yan versus Aljamain Sterling. This is to crown the unanimous, undisputed. Excuse me. This is for the undisputed bantamweight championship. Peter Yan versus Aljamain Sterling. Both of these guys only have 3 losses on their records. Peter Yan lost the belt to Aljamain because of an illegal knee. He beat somebody. Who did Peter Yan beat? He beat somebody real bad. Aljamain was getting his ass handed. So Aljamain comes out in that first fight, super high pace. I mean, he threw like 1,000,000,000 punches in the first round, and then Peter Yan just like broke him down, broke him apart, and broke him. And then after he already had him broken, he kneed him in the face when he was downed. So, sucks to be Aljamain. I'm sorry, sucks to be Aljamain. You got knee in the face, but also sucks to be Peter Yan. You just lost your belt for no reason. Aljamain plays it up. He's a ham. Then he gets on social media and becomes the bad guy. Starts talking Kobe Covington type bullshit, acting crazy, macho manning it up. Right? He's hamming it. He's turning heel on us. But I tell you what, man. Aljamain came back to this second fight prepared. Right? I think it was a different fight. And it was a different Aljamain Sterling. Round 1, I couldn't really call it. I had it even. Sterling, again, he did a lot of kicks. He did a lot of running, but he did pretty well. Peter Yan was Peter Yan. He was measured. He was decisive. He was sharp. He was accurate. Because that's how he fights at all times. He's like a robot. Like just a little itty-bitty Slavic robot. Alright, second round, I feel like, so Aljamain got him on the ground, got him in a body triangle, and just worked on trying to get a rear naked and beating on him the whole round. Aljamain Sterling round. Third round, same deal. Got him on the ground, dominated him. Control time. Fourth round, Peter Yan started off on fire. He came in throwing bombs, big shots. There's a few different sub-escapes that round. It was a competitive round, but I gave that one to Peter Yan. Round 5. I don't feel like it was as close as round 4, but it was a competitive round, but it wasn't as close as round 4. I gave that round to Peter Yan also. So according to my scorecards, Aljamain got 2 and 3. Peter Yan got 4 and 5. I had round 1 even. So it's going to the judges. Which I'm surprised. And I'm not surprised like on some like negative shit. Like I'm surprised on some positive. Like, crazily enough, everybody want to hate Aljamain. I've been rooting for Aljamain, man. I want Aljamain to win. That Peter Yan is a bully. He's mean. He cheats every fight. Right? Like, not, let me rephrase that. He don't cheat every fight, but he always doing some dirty shit. Right? And I don't like, you know what makes me mad about the dirty shit Peter Yan does? He's better than almost everybody he fighting, and he still finds the need to do some, borderline illegal, disrespectful shit to all of his opponents. Like, why are you doing that to people? You already better than them, and you already winning the fight, and you're kneeing down opponents. Watch him. He's just, I don't mean dirty like he's a cheater. I mean, he dirty like he likes to hurt people. He likes to inflict pain. He doesn't want to win. He wants to destroy you. Like, he's that dude. You know what I'm saying? So with that, and then you got Aljamain Sterling, the underdog, and everybody's mad at Aljamain. How dare you get illegally kneed in the head? Rooting for Aljamain, but again, I thought Peter Yan won this fight. Now let's see what the judges said. Aljamain Sterling, split decision. I will say Aljamain Sterling was a million times better than I thought in this fight. And even though I had Peter Yan winning, as I said, I had round 1 even, round 2 and 3 for Sterling, 3 and 4 for Yan. So, I mean, some people think that was a steal. They're like, oh, they stole it from Yan, including Dana White. Look at his face. He's looking over Buffer's shoulder when he's reading the results, and you can see Dana like, just the more he looked at it, the less chin he had. Dana's chin just was like, what? Sterling? He hated it. He was giving him the belt. He's like, ugh. Like, he puts it on his shoulder because he's on the ground instead of putting it around his belt like he does with everyone else, because he's just like, here. Can't believe you won. And Aljamain, it's crazy. It's crazy. I hope he keeps his belt because next time he fights Pitian, I think Pitian is going to literally murder him in the ring. Because Pitian's not going to lose any fights. He'll be back up there fighting for that belt as soon as they give him the opportunity. Who going to beat Pitian? He's the best fighter in that division. Now, Aljamain beat him, but Pitian's the best fighter in that division. All right, that was a really good fight, though. And Aljamain, that guy's crafty. I can't believe. Number one, he really came back a different fighter, and it was a different fight. He said he had some injuries that were healed. I don't know how much I'm buying it anyway, but he claimed that he was not himself that night prior to the knee, and that he was himself now, and it was going to be different. And he sure did look like himself, and it sure was a different fight. It's the first fight I've seen Pitian not look dominant. And he had his moments, don't get me wrong. He still looked like Pitian, but he looked like a dude in this fight. I mean, don't get me wrong, Aljamain looked like a dude too. But last time, Aljamain looked like a dude, and Pitian looked like Aljamain did his cool moves, and then Pitian at some point caught his fist and like crushed his whole hand with his hands, and then punched him through a bank wall and robbed the bank while Aljamain was knocked out. You know what I'm saying? Like Pitian was on a different. He was really beating people badly, including Aljamain, until this fight. This is my personal opinion. I feel like this is the first. Aljamain made Pitian look a little human. You know what I'm saying? Anyways, although I do think Pitian won that fight. I think he won 3 rounds to 2. I think he was slightly better in the first round, and other than the second and third round, it was all Pitian. The first round was close though. So now for the main event, we got Alexander Volkanovski versus the Korean Zombie. What is it? Dongwoo Choi? Is that the Korean Zombie's name? They don't even say his name no more. It literally, you go to UFC.com right now and type in UFC 273 and go to UFC.com. It's like Kazmat Chimaev, Gilbert Burns, Aljamain Sterling, Peter Yan, Alexander Volkanovski, the Korean Zombie. And then like in the fight, it says Volkanovski versus Zombie. And then like, did he change his name? Is his name no longer his name, and his name is just the Korean? Is this an Undertaker situation? Anyway, so the Korean Zombie, he came out, and I had Volkanovski winning all 5 rounds. There was a few times where Volkanovski got the Zombie hurt, and he went in there like, I'm gonna take him out, and the Zombie was like, I'm a zombie. It was twice. In the second round, it was a moment where Volkanovski kind of tired himself out trying to tire out the Zombie, and then the Zombie got him with one, and then Volkanovski was like, let's wrestle. You gotta love that shit. In the third round, Volkanovski almost got knocked out with a big right hand. He won the round. Fourth round, Zombie almost got knocked out at the end of the third round. Volkanovski won that round too, pretty decidedly. In the fourth round, Herb Dean stepped in, and early in the fourth round, like they had doctors come and check him. He's like, no, I'm good. And Volkanovski must have hit him 2-3 more times, and Herb Dean jumped in and stopped it. TKO. Alexander Volkanovski keeps his title. To be honest with you, and just like back to what I was saying at the beginning of this, Korean Zombie looked like that fight looked like the T-City fight, only if Brian Ortega had one arm. Like I would say if you go outside of the top 5 of featherweight, Korean Zombie might be the best dude. But if you go within the top 5, Korean Zombie's definitely number 6. You understand what I'm saying there? I don't know how he got this title shot. It doesn't seem to make sense to me. Let me see who else is in this featherweight division. Maybe I am wrong. Maybe I am. Maybe I'm misinterpreting things. You know what I'm saying? Maybe I'm looking at this the wrong way. I don't get. And I hate to even say it like that because I like the Korean Zombie. I mean, he's dope. I just don't get it. All right, so we got Chan Sung Jung is his name. All right, so we got Max Holloway, who, in my opinion, deserves the title shot more than anyone else. Alexander Volkanovski. I beat him twice. I don't have to fight him again. No, dude. You're afraid the judges are finally gonna get it right. If you beat him twice, you wouldn't be afraid to fight Max again. You'd be like, whatever, I beat Max again. I already beat him twice. But that's not what you're saying. What you're saying is you don't want to fight him again because you luckily have escaped with the hair on your chinny chin chin twice. I think Max won both those fights, personally. Although the first one, I'm not even mad Volkanovski got that first one, but that second one, that was stolen from Max. Max won that second fight. Then you got Brian Ortega, you got Kelvin Cater, you got Gilgit Chikaze, you got Arnold Allen surging, you got Yara Rodriguez, Josh Emmett, Bryce Mitchell, Dan Ige, like Edson Barbosa, Shane Burgos, like this. There's so many good fighters in this weight class. I don't know how the Korean Zombie got this title match. He's 17-6. You got Arnold Allen 18-1. You got Yar 13-3. Like, there's so many different getting phone calls in my video. I've been going too long, that's why. This might be my longest video ever. Not ever, but my longest UFC video. Alright. Anyways, my point is, it was a great card. And let me just say this. The Korean Zombie, even though I'm talking about that mess, even though I don't think he belonged in there, even though he got outclassed, there were moments. Because what happened a lot of it happened at least 2 times, I want to say 3 times, where Volkanovski kind of had him hurt and was really pouring it on, and the Zombie would just be like, I eat punches, bow. But I mean, Alexander Volkanovski, so fast, so he's better than ever, and he's already the champ, and he already beat the champ twice, and he's better than ever. That guy's scary. He's scary. Like, people are like, who's gonna beat him? Max or no one. Maybe somebody new. It's either gonna be Max or somebody new. If Max can't beat him, it's gonna be somebody new. There ain't no one left that could beat him other than Max. And Max has lost to him twice, no matter how I or Max or anyone in Hawaii feels about it. Anyways, I think that's it. Thank you for being here. If you are still here, I appreciate your time and I love you. Please like and subscribe and all that shit. UFC T-Down, UFC T-Down breakdowns, UFC 273, Volkanovski versus the Korean Zombie. No real name needed.